Another Shameless film, and this one kind of came completely out of the blue, it felt like anyway. I don't remember them really advertising that they were going to be putting this one out, but here it is. This episode we're checking out Spine number 31, What Have They Done to Your Daughters? This is a 1974 poliziotteschi / giallo film directed by Massimo Dallamano, who is on the channel for the first time in this episode, surprisingly. Not done a lot by way of directing. He did do the prequel film to this called What Have You Done to Solange, which is also done pretty well, I think. And then it looks like a few literary adaptations as well. He did a version of Venus in Furs, not to be confused with the Jess Franco one. Outside of that, though, he's probably most famous for working with Sergio Leone on the Dollars trilogy as cinematographer. So at the very least, I'm expecting this to look good. The film stars Giovanni Raleigh, who's done a few bits here and there, and they're the lead. And then we also get Claudio Casinelli, who you may recognise because they were in Mountain of the Cannibal God and Flavia the Heretic, both of which we've already covered on this channel before. So I've never seen this film, but it has been on my radar for quite a long time. I remember Shameless putting it out on DVD back in the day, seeing it in like HMV and stuff like that. I remember laughing at how long the title was. I do like a giallo with a very silly long title. But yeah, I've been wanting to check it out for quite a while, so let's do just that, shall we?
What do you mean?
He's a spelunker, that's what you call him, I think.
You love the idea of a maniac, don't you, Sensei?
Quite a simple plot for this one. A young girl is found hanged in an attic, so the police are investigating, headed by the female district attorney Vittoria Storey. This isn't an isolated incident though, and a killer in a motorcycle helmet is on the loose, stabbing anyone who's even remotely related to the case. This all leads to a ring of child prostitution that may just go higher up than our coppers expected. I liked this one a lot. It mixes the two genres really nicely. And there are quick, engaging scenes mixed in with some like slower, tense moments. It's a brisk 90 minutes and really doesn't overstay its welcome. The only big negative, or the thing that is probably the most negative I'd say with this, is that the ending is a little unsatisfying and it's wrapped up very quickly at the end. But we've seen way worse examples of that just in this collection anyway so far. So yeah, it's pretty good overall, honestly.
You must know the guy then.
No, I don't, because I never saw him.
Public opinion. You worry about finding a murderer. We'll find him, all right, if you don't break our balls.
The acting and dubbing are pretty decent here, really. I don't really have any major complaints in that regard, to be honest. There were like one or two side characters that were maybe a little silly sounding, but they were gone before you knew it anyway. And just the leads that we get, they're pretty good, and they're easy to latch onto and root for, I'd say. The killer in the motorcycle helmet. That's a trope we've seen quite a few times on this channel. More recently, we saw it in Strip Nude for Your Killer. And I was thinking about like, oh, why is that quite popular? And I guess it's like one of the most grounded ways to hide someone's identity, and it's quite an easy thing to come by. I don't know, I think it worked in this. I think it worked pretty well, to be honest. The gore is present here. It's definitely got its little giallo elements in the gore. And when it kicks in, it's really good. It is used sparingly though. But yeah, when it kicks in, we get like big fountains of blood and limbs getting cut off. It's nice, and I'm glad that they do use it quite sparingly. It's not without its naff moments though, as well, as the opening corpse shots particularly stood out as being quite silly because it's clearly a paper mache cast. And yeah, it doesn't look real in the slightest, but it does have its charm, for sure. This is definitely more police procedural than giallo, though. Even though we do get the little bits of gore here and there. The focus really is on the case, and it's on going through the procedure, you know, and groundwork and then questioning and all that sort of stuff. And we do see it all played out, and it does feel like we're watching like CSI or Law and Order or something like that at points. It's not a negative thing though, it can be quite engaging, and luckily it's done in such a way where it mixes it up just enough that you're not like, come on, get on with it too often, which is nice. I was expecting a little more though in regards to the female lead, like the female district attorney, looking after a bunch of like grizzled bloke cops. But, and it on the back of the case it does make note of this, but it's never really touched upon, to be completely honest. Like, she arrives on the scene and everyone's just respectful and kind of nice, and then they just get on with the job, and it never really comes up. I don't know, it could have been an interesting angle if they'd have bothered doing it with the film, but they don't, so why even mention it on the back of the case, to be honest? Just seems a little odd. It's relatively well put together. There's some really nice shots. It knows when to linger and slow down. It knows when to speed up as well and get things a bit more engaging. Usually, I can't stand car chases in films. I think for the most part, they sort of halt the story, and it's just an excuse for fast, rapid, stupid editing that makes no sense, or showing off various models of cars that you have for product placement. And I usually don't like them. But this one has a really good police chase in it, like a car chase in it, sorry. And I think it's because they're in these tiny, silly little Italian police cars driving down these windy Italian side streets. And it's shot in a way where you can see how they're moving and where they're going and stuff. It's quite well shot, and yeah, for one of the first times that I can remember, a car chase actually like grabbed me and kept me interested, which is pretty cool. The music is good for the most part, but there is one song that's repeated quite a bit, and it's got some vocals in it. Now I don't know whether it's just mouth sounds, a little operatic, or whether it's Italian for something, but it sounds to me like they're saying blob blob, which just sort of seems really silly, and it's used quite a lot. I'll probably show an example of it. But outside of that one example, yeah, the music's pretty good. Overall, it's a pretty good package, to be honest. As I say, 90 minutes, and it's all pretty solid stuff. Strangely, for a film that seems relatively popular with fans of giallo and poliziotteschi films, there's not really much information on this online. It looks like it did pretty well when it was released in Italy, and that is partly due to the fact that this is a sequel to What Have You Done to Solange, which also did really well. And I was looking into that film, and it looks like that one leans more into the giallo, whereas this one obviously leans more into the poliziotteschi side. And it actually sounds pretty good. So, Shameless, maybe put that one out at some point. That might be a good one for the collection. I mean, I'm definitely interested in watching it anyway, so yeah, it'd be nice to have that one on Blu-ray. Outside of this, there were apparently 5 minutes of extra footage found along with the original reels for this film. These bits of footage are sex scenes. Now, these are shown to the editor of this film in a little featurette that's included on this disc, and I just wanted to talk about what he says about these. So it was a bit of a mystery, because these scenes were shot on the same set as Daughters, so it was definitely done around the same time, but it's hard to tell where these would have fit into the film, because it doesn't include characters from the film. So it's a little bit like, well, why were these shot? So the editor seems to think, well, first off, he'd never seen them before, so we watch him watch these scenes for the first time, and then he sort of says his theories on the whole thing. So he seems to think that these were shot because shipping abroad sometimes they'd add in more sex or more violence because it'd sell better overseas. So he thinks that they were shot as like a potential like a thing to add in for like the American audience or the German audience or something like that. But he does say it seems strange though, because the sex scenes that are described in What Have They Done to Your Daughters they include younger girls for a start, and they're way more violent, whereas the bits of footage that were shot seem pretty tame and normal as far as like sex scenes go. So he was a little confused with that, but he does seem to think, yeah, that it was just, if they needed something more in there, then they'd just shove it in. But he definitely thinks that Dallamano did direct and shoot these sex scenes, because there's a particular sex move that is included in these scenes that is apparently related to Dallamano, that he's used in the past, and it's kind of his signature move. So yeah, it was an interesting little featurette, to be completely honest. What's weird though is that we don't get to see these scenes. They're blurred out for us. So we just see his reaction while he's watching some blurred out footage. Now, this seems really strange to me because Shameless aren't usually ones to shy away from just showing everything. And I'd have kind of expected, I think early Shameless would have included these scenes as like a bonus material sort of thing, just to watch in isolation outside of the interview. Seems really strange that they're only in this interview and blurred out, so we don't actually get to see them. Weird.
So that's 2 dead now. Always assuming that this isn't chicken blood.
Okay, time for the print, and it's pretty good, honestly. Yeah, the colours pop, it's a crisp image, it maintains some of the grain, so it's not lost any of that side to it. There's no issues that I spotted really, no glitches or anything. Yeah, really nice both in the visuals and the audio. Yeah, pretty good. And on the disc we get the English dub, we get the Italian dub, we get the interview with the editor, like I said, which is 22 minutes long. We also get an interview with the composer, which is 50 minutes long. And then we get a commentary track with somebody called Rachel Nisbet, who is apparently some sort of genre expert. I don't know. As far as special features go and Shameless, this one's a little lacking again, I think. I don't know. I feel like they were packing the discs a little more in the earlier releases, and I feel like these past few they've been like, I don't know, just sort of weaker, I guess. But saying that, the interview with the editor is pretty interesting and worth watching, and at least there are some things on the disc and it's not just the film and there you go. Okay then, time for the case. Let's start with the slipcover. This one's a little generic, I think. You know, remove the title and it could be a multitude of films. It could be Strip Nude for Your Killer, it could be Nightmare Beach or something like that. Yeah, I'm not massive on it, it's a little generic. And then it's the same on the inner cover too, it's just the same one but on the inside sleeve. We do get an alternate cover, but once again, I'm not massive on this one. It's a little basic and boring, I guess. All the information on the back seems correct, didn't spot anything wrong with it. The runtime's spot on as well. Yeah, not bad there. Again, this came in the cheap, clear cases that look absolutely stupid and I hate. And another weird touch to this one that we've not seen before. On the slipcover, one of the spines is black, like the other ones all are, but the other spine is yellow. Not really sure why they're doing this now. It's like, just land on a format and stick with it please. You're making the collection look stupid on the shelf. But I mean, at least you have the option to have it as the black or the yellow spine, I guess. Lastly, I got one of the low numbered versions and I got 0212. Not that low in the grand scheme of things, really. Overall then, yeah, this was a great blend of giallo and poliziotteschi. Really enjoyed this one. I was hooked by the story and I stuck around for the odd little bits of gore. it's got a lot to offer for it, and the only real thing that I didn't really like that much was the fact that the ending just felt a little rushed, but that's quite a minor complaint really. Shameless have actually finally put something out that's half decent, and it's nice to see. I'd definitely give this one a recommendation if you're a fan of giallo or poliziotteschi or just Italian thrillers in general. This is definitely worth grabbing and having a look at, yeah. And the print itself and the release and stuff is really nice too. There is a import, Arrow did a Blu-ray, US only though. But you know, with like import costs and all that sort of stuff, you're probably better off just grabbing this copy. It's a nice version of it. Got a few special features and stuff. Yeah, not bad at all. I'm very glad that Shameless have finally done something that I didn't hate, that doesn't feel like a waste of money for me, to be completely honest. Yeah, pretty good. As of the making of this video, there have been no more announcements from Shameless. They didn't do 2 releases in one go like they did last time again for this one. So no idea what we're getting next. But until then, thanks for watching.